record, no? What I will discuss now again is basically the profitability index, the IRR, and after that is I will discuss about the annual rate of return or the accounting rate of return. So, na tayo, no? All right. Sige. All right. So, meaning, next is about profitability index, no? So, again, as we noticed, no, or as I discussed last meeting the uh, about the about the payback period, 'di ba? And also we discussed about NPV. Sige nga, Doran, what do you mean of the payback period? Sa layman's term, ano 'yan? It is basically kalimutan na.
Sir, nalimutan ko na po.
All right, 'di ba? Sabi ko last
Sorry,
time,
boss.
profitability index is parang sa layman's term to recover, no? To recover your investment. That's why the formula is basically uh, net investment, no, sorry, net investment divided by your cash flow. Yeah, that's basically your cash payback period. So, ilang taon mo ma-recover ang investment mo. All right. What is the criteria when you have your payback period? Dapat, Juvie, ano yung criteria?
Ah,
Ano yung criteria in terms of, yun nga, sige.
para ma-compute po sir yung sa cash payback, kailangan
Mm,
po sir may cost of capital investment tas yung net
mm.
annual cash inflow po sir. Yun po ba yung
Alright? Because of,
para makuha po yung cash payback period?
alright? Because of the cash payback period. So basically, anong formula pala?
Cost of capital investment
Alright?
divided by net annual cash.
Alright, sige. Very good. So, ang criteria niyan dapat, no, the cash payback period should be less than your estimated useful life of the asset in order for you to have or it is to be acceptable. Alright. How about, anong problema in terms of your cash payback period? Nayo, what is the cons, no, when you have your cash payback period? Nayo? Alright.
Wala po ako last. Ano,
Wala ka ba last time? Alright, sorry, kayo lang. Oh, Doran ulit,
wala
no?
po.
What is the challenge of computing for the cash payback period?
Sir, in-ignore niyo po yung time value of money.
Yes, because it ignores the time value of money. Very good. That's why the next topic is all about the net present value. All right. All right. Meaning net present value is you consider now the present value of your cash flow. All right. What is the formula to compute for the net present value? The formula is present value of your cash flow minus your net investment. You have your what? Net present value. All right. What is the criteria naman when you have your net present value, Jovi?
Sir, basta po pag sa net present value, meron na po dong time value of money plus estimated total cash
Ano
flow.
yan?
Kapag sa net present value po, nandun na po yung consider time value of money plus estimated total.
Yes. But the question is, what is the criteria if it is to be acceptable or to accept if it is you have that? Diba?
Ano sir, kailangan zero or positive po.
Very good. The net present value should be positive or should be zero in order for you to accept no the proposal. All right. Very good. Next topic now is all about profitability index. Okay? Again, as you notice, no, in terms of the profitability index is the same formula. Sorry, is the same parang the formula, same parang factors, no, to compute for the net present value. All right. 'Di ba? Present value, no? of the cash flows minus the investment, you have your profitability index, correct? All right. In terms of profitability index, it is to be divided, no? Present value divided by your net investment. That's your profitability index, correct? All right. It is a simple method of comparing alternative projects that takes into account both the size of the investment at the same time the discounted cash flows. That's your profitability index. All right. Meaning, as discussed a while ago, is the same formula in terms of your sorry, it's the same as your profitability index or net present value. All right. Wait lang ha. Wait lang. All right. So, what if this is the criteria naman? So, wait lang, may ako. Wait lang. Yeah, medyo may ano. All right. Next, how about you, Durano? What if you're using the net present value of this? Okay. Project A and Project B. Anong pipiliin mo? Project A or Project B?
Project,
Net
Project A po
present
ako,
value.
sir. Project
Project
A.
A. Why Project A?
Sir, mas
Take note.
mababa po yung
Net
initial
present
investment.
value. Mas mababa ang?
Initial investment sa value.
Yun ba yung criteria?
Ay,
About... Ayan, anak ko.
wait lang.
Alright. Again, in terms of the net present value. Alright. Project A or Project B? Duran?
Wait
How
lang,
about the
sir.
Jovi? Sige, Jovi. Project A or Project B?
Project B, sir.
Why B?
Kasi mas malaki po yung net.
Alright, very good. Diba? The criteria in terms of the net present value, the higher, the better. Tama ba? Alright, so when you compute for the net present value, the formula is the present value of your cash flows minus your net investment. You have your net present value. So, in this example, now project B is the parang mas okay kasi we have more net present value. Alright. How about naman, you compute for the profitability index? Dito ba sa formulang ito, Project A and Project B, you can be able ba to compute for the profitability index? Ano nga yung formula Neo about the profitability index? Neo, if you're listening, what is, okay,
Initial investment divided
initial
by
investment?
wait no. Sorry, sir.
Diba sabi ko, net present value, the formula is the same as your net present value. Kaya ang pagkakaiba nila ay, in the net present value, it is to be or to minus, no? The present value of your cash flows minus net investment. In terms of your profitability index, di ba? Ano ginawa natin? It is to be divided, di ba? Diba ito yan? Oh, to be divided. The formula here is present value of your cash flows divided by your initial investment. All right. Oh, sige nga, with this example, how do we compute for the profitability index, Jovi?
Um, Sir, kukunin po yung present value po, ordinary and weekly rin po.
All right. Project A muna. Paano mo mako-compute ang present value? So what you will do is,
Investment.
all right, how much is the present value of your cash flows?
Sir, di ko po masyadong...
All right, again, the formula here is go first with the net present value method. Diba? Given na ang net present value, given na ang investment, you can compute for the present value of your cash flows. Paano? By working back. Tama ba, Jovi?
Opo, sir.
Alright. So, how much now is your present value of your cash flows? Pajagain mo na. Ako ba yung nag-gets?
Sir, di ko po mag-gets yung part dyan.
Again, what is the formula to compute for the net present value? Sige nga, Duran. What is the formula to compute for the net present value? The formula is present value of your cash flows minus initial investment is equal to net present value. Alright, gets ba ako? That's the formula, okay? The formula to compute for the profitability index is present value of your cash flows. You divide it by the investment. Oh. Ako ba ay nagigets? How much? Question na sa project A. Magkano ang magkano ang present value of your cash flows ng project A? Hindi pa rin ba gets? Jovi, hindi pa rin?
8,000.
Kana?
58.
Very good, Jovi. The present value of the cash flows of project A is 58,112. Ikaw, Doran, gets mo? Kung bakit 58,112?
Sir, di po. Inad lang po ba yung present value at initial investment doon?
Again, ano yung formula ng present value, net present value? Present value of your cash flows minus initial investment is equals to net present value. Di ba given na ang net present value, given na ang investment, ano gagawin? Work back. Alright. Alright. How about project B? Sige nga. Neo, how much is the present value of your cash flows of project B? Habi? Pwedeng paano? Neo, how much is the present value of present value of your cash flows in project B? Wala. Carla Marie, how much is the present value of project B?
69, sir.
Ha?
Mali.
Bakit 69?
69.
Ba't 69? Oh, how about you, Jovi again? Okay? Ano yan, Carla?
Minus po.
Minus yung? Oh, how about you, Jovi? How much is the present value of your cash flows of project B?
Sir, 110,000.
Very good. Project B is 110,574. Okay. Again, go back to your formula of the present value of the net present value. Bakit 58,112? Kasi given na yung initial investment, given na yung present value, work back to. Just add. Given na yung investment, then add the present value. You have now your present value of your cash flows. Ganun kadali. No. All right. So how much now is the profitability index? Just divide 58,112 by 40,000 of the investment. You have your 1.45. How about the project B? 110,574. You divide it by 90,000. You have 1.23. Okay? My question here is, in terms of profitability index, project A or project B? Doran.
Sir, project B po.
Alright. Why project B? Because of? Project
Sir,
B?
mas malaki po yung kikitaan.
Saan?
Sa
Again. Mm.
Present value.
How about you, Jovi? Project A or Project B? Sabi ni Doran, Project B.
Project A po, sir.
The answer is Project A. Why? Because Project A has 1.45 of the profitability index versus 1.23. Meaning, profitability index, the higher, the better to accept the project. All right. In the net present value, you will accept the proposal of the highest net present value, which is kanina, highest project value is the project B. While profitability index, you will accept the proposal of the highest of the profitability index, meaning the project A. Yan. All right. Project A is the most desirable because of the higher profitability index. Yan. All right. Wag na to. Okay. Oh, question about the IRR. About the PI na question. Doran, Jovi, Nayo. All right. Hello, yan ba kayo? No
Yes po,
question.
sir.
All
Ano
right.
naman
Hindi
po,
siya.
sir?
All right.
Ararin
Next.
lang po.
All right. Next is all about internal rate of return. All right. What do you mean of internal rate of return? Kayo ba ay na-discuss ba sa inyo about the table, present value of annuity table or present value table?
Yes po, sir.
Yes. So IRR is we will also discuss or we will also parang kailangan natin yung present value table. Alright. The IRR results in finding the interest yield of the potential investment. Alright. Meaning, we will compute for the internal rate of return. Alright. IRR is basically the interest rate that will cause the present value of the proposed capital expenditures to equal the present value of the annual cash inflows. Meaning, the IRR pala is basically same as your break-even analysis. Tama ba? Ano nga yung break-even analysis, Neo? As our discussion and our cost accounting, if you remember. Neo.
The cost is equal to the um,
Kalimutan na. O,
profit
ano yung,
profit then, sir.
ano yung break-even?
Profit.
Break-even is net income is zero, di ba? Tama ba, Jovi? As our discussion, no, in our cost accounting. Okay? Di ba? Tayo pala yung pinakahuli, no? Naalala mo ba yung Jovi, Neo? I think Carla, no? Tayo pala yung pinakahuli na klase na before mag-lockdown, no?
Yes po,
Kasi
sir.
Yes po, sir.
kasi yung memory kasi nakita ko. Tayo pala yung pinakahuli, no? Tapos nagkata tayo ng klase, no?
Opo.
Wala lang. Tapos after nun, online na tayo. Hindi, wala nga ano, di ba alam ko anong gagawin, di ba? Parang tayo nagbit ng 1 month, di ba?
Po, sir.
Right.
Parang 2 weeks break
Parang
na.
after a month pa bago kasi di pa uso yung Zoom, di pa uso yung wala lang nakita ko lang kasi nung ngayon sa ano kasi nagpicture kami ni Christine Mangaran, no. Saka ni sino kasama lagi? Cheska. Yan. Anyway, yon. So, IRR, oh, tama, yun yung klase natin, di ba? Tama ba, Jovi? Cost accounting yan eh.
Opo,
Alright.
sir.
So, our discussion for that is basically your break-even analysis. Now, the break-even analysis is basically, uh, ano yun? The net income is zero. Alright. Your contribution margin is equal to your fixed costs. Yan. That's basically your internal rate of return. Alright. Sorry, that's your the break-even, sorry. In capital budgeting, there's also an internal rate of return wherein the net present value daw is zero. Okay? The net present value is zero, meaning the present value of your cash flow will equal to your what? Will equal to your uh, net investment. That's basically your zero is your net present value. Alright, paano natin mako-compute ang net present value as zero? First thing is, may step yan. Okay? Let's say you have project of cost of 249, and you have a net cash flows of 45. First thing is to compute first for the internal rate of return factor. All right, how do we compute for the internal rate of return factor? Okay, so the formula here is capital investment. We divide it by the annual cash inflow. As you notice for the step number one, parang may parehas dyan na formula. If you notice. Ano yan? Carla, capital investment divided by your net cash inflow. Parang nakita ko na yung formula lang yan. Saan yun? Carla Marie de la Cruz.
Sir, sa cash payback po.
Very good. That's the same formula to compute for the cash payback period. And the cash payback period, no, is basically you compute for years, no? Payback in years. In the IRR, it is basically the internal rate of return factor. Sir, ano yung internal rate of return factor? So, that's the case we're in. You need to have your present value of annuity table. Yan. Ano yung formula again? Capital investment, you divide it by the annual cash inflow. So, this is you have 5.5333. Meaning, the 5.5333, since it is 8 years, di ba? It is an 8 years. Tama ba? 8 years yon. So, the 5.533 is basically, you will look into your present value table. You will go for the 8 years and look for the 5.533. Saan yung pinakamalapit? I think pinakamalapit ay at 9%. So meaning, your IRR or internal rate of return factor is 5.533, meaning approximately at 9%. Nagets ba ako? Duran, Jovi. Di ba napakadali? Alright. First thing is to compute first for the IRR factor using the payback period formula. After that, look for the percentage, look for the table in the IRR, no? Then look for the 8 years, and pinakamadali dyan ay 5.533, which is it at 9%. Meaning, the IRR is at 9%. All right, how do we consider if it is acceptable if you have an IRR? All right, to summarize everything, okay, the IRR is to be compared to your minimum required rate of return or the cost of capital. To be discussed, this cost of capital to be discussed after our midterm na. Alright, if you compare it, no, if it is equal or greater than the minimum required rate of return, you will accept the proposal. Alright, if it is less than, okay, you will reject the proposal. Alright, kanina, magkano ang ating IRR na kinompute? Di ba 9%? Alright, what if the cost of capital is 8%? Meaning it is to be accepted. Why? Because the IRR is basically more than, right? All right, uh, meaning the IRR is more than the cost of capital. And so is equal or greater than, meaning it is to be accepted. If less than, no, you will reject the proposal. All right. Any question? All right. Also, in terms of, again, to compare again, present value or the net present value, objective here is basically to have more net present value. All right. Decision rule, net present value should be more than, di ba? Net present value should be more than to be accepted. If negative siya, it is to be rejected. The IRR is basically compute first for the IRR factor and look for the table. And if the IRR is more than your cost of capital, it is to be accepted. All right. So far, any question? So far, any question? None?
Sir? Sir?
Duran, question.
Sir, kasama po ba to sa exam natin sa Gcash? Hindi
Yes.
naman po. Ay, kasama.
Yes, kasama. No? Our
Sir.
coverage is until our capital budgeting.
Okay. Sir, pa-post na lang po pala yung PPT po.
Yes, yes.
Thank you
Yes,
po.
yes.
Mm.
All right. Next, the last part is all about annual rate of return, or sa ibang book, ito ay tinatawag na accounting rate of return. All right. So ito ay tinatawag na accounting rate of return. Okay. Postpone na yung board exam, ah. Alam niyo ba yan? Jovi?
Hindi. Board exam po, sir.
Na-postpone yung board exam.
Activities? Ay, kala ko sa ano. Board exam.
Okay. Kasi akala ko kasi ano na, nung una kasi ano na siya, parang tawag doon. Tuloy na, no? Ngayon parang hindi. No, ha? Kayo ba ay may balak mag-take ng board? Or you want to shift pa? Ikaw, Jovi, Carla, Doran, o okay na kayo dyan? Akala ko ba, Jovi, mag-BBSA ka?
Ano sir, hindi pa po ako nakakapag-take ng ano sir, yung Q-top.
Di ka pa nag-cute up.
Opo.
Alright. Sige, next is all about annual rate of return. Alright. Kanina, a while ago, we discussed about cash flow numbers, di ba? If you have the cash payback period, you have your uh, net present value, you have your IRR, and the profitability index. All of this are basically you use the cash flow. Tama ba? Yeah, we use the cash flow. The last part is all about annual rate of return, or also known as accounting rate of return. So ito Jovi, no, Duran and Neo and Carla, we will use now accrual basis of accounting. We will now have your net income. From the word itself, annual rate of return or accounting rate of return. All right. In terms of the annual rate of return or the accounting rate of return, no, is basically based on the accrual of accounting data. No? It indicates the profitability of a capital expenditures. So ano yung formula? The formula here is expected annual net income. No? Then you divide it by the average investment. That's why you have your annual rate of return. All right. Again, the formula here is expected annual net income. You divide it by the average investment. So, alam niyo naman kung paano mag-compute ng net income, di ba? Alright, alam niyo naman mag-compute about the average investment, correct? Alright. So, the annual rate of return or the accounting rate of return is also compared to the required minimum rate of return or the cost of capital. If the annual rate of return or the accounting rate of return is more than the required minimum rate of return or the cost of capital, it is to be accepted. Di ba napakadali na naman, di ba, Jovi? Yung IRR, pag more than sa cost of capital, accepted. ARR, ganun din. If more than yung ARR mo or accounting rate of return mo sa cost of capital, it is to be accepted. Yan. Alright, the project is acceptable under this method if the annual rate of return is greater than the required rate of return. Alright, for example, alam niyo na to, no? How to compute for the net income, di ba? You know already how to compute for the net income. Alright, sales minus cost of sales minus expenses, you have your net income, and you have also your net income. All right. With this, you have 13,000. All right. How about average investment? Same. Original investment plus investment at the end of the useful life. You divide it by 2. Yan. So, meaning you have the investment at the end of the useful life is equal to the salvage value. Yan. You divide it by 2, meaning you have 65,000. How much now is your annual rate of return? 13,000. We divide it by 65,000. So, you have your 20%. The 20% is basically your accounting rate of return or the annual rate of return. All right. Yan. So again, to be accepted, no, the ARR or the accounting rate of return is to be more than in terms of your ARR. All right. Annual rate of return advantages and disadvantages. All right. Same. Easy to understand, simplicity, 'di ba? Kaya lang, ano yung limitations? It does not consider the time value of money. Diba? This method relies on the accrual accounting numbers instead of the actual cash flows. Alright, so far any question? Tapos na tayo. Oras na ba? At least we have, sabi ko na, diba? 45 minutes lang tayo. Hindi nga, 30 minutes nga lang. Alright, so next meeting, I will upload this no, later. Kayan. Then you will answer, siguro only one, maybe here, no? Just answer here. And then I will have link to the assignment, no? Yan. And also be ready for your exam. Next meeting, the coverage is introduction to financial management. Next is all about risk and return. And the last topic is all about capital budgeting. And Jovi, ha, please tell Fatma, no, that next week is the exam. Hopefully ma-exam siya. Kasi mahirap pag hindi na-exam, no? Incomplete siya. Okay.
Sir, pwede po ba makita po ma-review po yung quiz po namin?
Review. Sige, sige. I will give you the answer for that. Remind mo ako, ha. Remind niyo ako, Doran. No?
Sa PowerPoint.
Sige po, sir.
Sorry, ngayon kasi ang dami kong load, promise, no. San Beda pa lang. Grabe. Because of the pandemic. Alright. Tapos same subject pa. Hindi ko alam kung nasisend ko na ba or hindi pa. Okay. Alright, so if none, thank you very much and see you all.
Ay, sir, sorry po.
Jovi.
Yung homework po, kailan po namin isa-send yun?
Send nyo siya kahit Sunday na, no? This weekend na.
Mai-upload
Sige,
niyo po.
sige, wag na. Prepare na lang siguro kayo sa to be submitted na lang after yung midterm. Okay? Ano na lang. Basta be ready. Basta you will submit pa din after the midterm. Okay? So, concentrate na lang with your midterm exam.
Sige po, sir.
Sir, ilang items po?
Ilan items? 60 items. No? Multiple choice. Okay? Asan si Joan's Peters? Wala. Alright, so if na, thank you very much and see you all on, next week na, no? Hindi na, kasi next week is your exam. Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye, sir. Thank you, sir.
Alright, sige, bye-bye.
Bye, sir.
Bye.